Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about healing, recovering, and overcoming trauma. This conversation was triggered by the podcast that I did with Pamela Phiri on No Man is Worth My Tears Breaking Free. If you have not watched those two videos on my YouTube, please go back and watch them before you continue with this one. This was also triggered by the conversation, or let me call them the talks that I had with people concerning the podcast that I have done. Looking at the life of Pamela Phiri, the author of No Man is Worth My Tears, I then realized that though we go traumatizing situation, there is still a room to overcome and to continue to lead a fulfilling life. There is still a room to continue to live according to the call of God in our lives. Sometimes we go through trauma, hurt, or rather any experience such as abuse, bad relationship, but we end up not dealing with them. Because we have learned that situation comes and situation goes, we also tend to forget them and move on. Unfortunately, when it comes to trauma, we cannot ignore them. We have to deal with them, we have to work with them positively so that we can move on. Now, one may ask to say, what is trauma? What do you mean by trauma? So, trauma is any shocking situation which may happen once, twice, or three times in your life, but has a potential of robbing you of your safety in certain environment. That can be bad relationship, that can be abusive parents, abusive friends, abusive relationship, not having parents, death. You may name all those situations, but they have that potential of robbing you of your safety in certain environment. You tend to build a barrier or also develop a defensive mechanism against similar situations. These unresolved trauma have a profound negative impact on our overall well-being, affecting our mental state, physical health, making it difficult for one to lead a fulfilling life. This may affect one's sense of safety, trust, and may lead to anger and increased sensitivities, fear, and you name them. Some come with low self-esteem, perfectionism. Pamela Phiri on the podcast mentioned that the abuse has caused her to develop low self-esteem to a point where she had to believe anything and everything that people will say about her. If somebody is telling her that she's ugly, she will believe that she's ugly. If someone is saying you are not capable, she believed that she's not capable. So trauma can make you believe the negative things about yourself, which sometimes they are not even true. This also makes you feel like you are responsible of what has happened in your life. For an example, if you are raped, you will feel that maybe it's because I was wearing a short dress. If I didn't go there. So you tend to negatively take responsibility of what has happened in your life, but not in a way that will heal you, not in a way that will heal the wound that you have. You add on top of what you have. Now, these people that have been through trauma, they tend to hurt other people. Have you met people who just want to put a trap on other people? If you check their background, you'll find that there is something that they have been through. So doing that, trying to put a trap on other people or hurting other people, they are trying to build a wall that protects themselves. That is what is caused by trauma. Trauma can leave a lasting scar, impacting our mental, emotional, and physical health. But by facing our past trauma head on and working on our healing, we can cultivate inner strength, we can cultivate inner peace, we can cultivate the zeal to move on. When we heal from our past trauma, we release the weight that has been holding us back. It's like taking off a heavy backpack that limit our mobility. What Pamela Phiri said on the podcast was that forgiveness had set her free. Forgiving the abuser, forgiving the people that were involved has set her free. When we look at our scars, we need to say or speak a song that says, I am a victor, not a victim. By processing our experience and emotion, we gain deeper understanding of ourselves and develop coping strategy that makes us more resilient to the future challenges. How can we heal from trauma or from our past trauma? When we were listening to the podcast of Pamela Phiri, she said that when she started writing her book, that's where she realized that she was not completely healed. There was still a part of her that still needed healing. But by writing the experience of her life, that's where she started feeling the healing. She started healing from the past. So if you are a writer and you like writing, you may also use that strategy where you write down what you have been through. Then also write down how it is affecting your life right now. If it makes you become angry, write it down that I went through this and it makes me become angry with people. It makes me want to hurt people. Then write down to say, I am not going to be hurting people anymore. I am not going to be living in anger. I am going to learn to control my anger. Also get the books or get the material that will help you deal with anger or deal with whatever that happens in your life that is being caused by that trauma that you have been through. Other people may be saying, I am not a writer. I don't like writing. There are therapists that you can go and visit and talk to them, share with them what you have been through. Talk to them. There are certain traumas that we are having, but we don't even know, we don't even understand that it is trauma on its own. There are people like psychologists, when you talk to them, they will make you realize that, Mara, it looks like you are hurt in this area. It looks like you need to heal in this area. So for those that cannot write, visit the psychologist, visit the marriage therapist, visit the therapists themselves, social workers, you name them. And there are those that are saying, no, I don't want to sit down with one person and just talk about my misery. You can find yourself with a group of people that have been through the same situation as yours. I have seen ladies, especially when it comes to death. There are certain groups where it's those widows. They sit down and talk about and mourn together, talk about how death is making them feel. So if you need those kind of support group, do that. And there are those who are saying, I just want to find myself in a place where somebody will be talking something positive. Attending the seminars, going to church can also be one of them. So you find a place that will help you heal from what you have been through. But that will happen in most cases if you know that the life that I'm living right now, it is because of what I have been through. No matter what you have been through, no matter what has hurt you, there is still hope and there's still room for one to grow. There is still room for you to heal. There is still room for you to become whom you are called to be. It doesn't matter how deep it has been. I have seen it with Pamela Phiri. It doesn't matter how deep the wound was. It can then be a scar that when you look at it, you will say, I am a victor. I am even more than a conqueror. You can be that which you have said you want to be. You can become that which you have wrote down when you were still young. It should not stop you from your dreams. The things that you go through, they should not stop you from dreaming. They should not stop you from going for your destiny, from going to the things that you say you want to be. Let me tell you, no matter how big the scar was, it can be a beautiful scar where everyone can look at it and say, she has been through this, but she is a victor.